This is very rare in Magic, but if you've been doing card tricks long enough, I'm sure this has happened to you. You have a spectator pick out a card at random, it's truly lost back in the deck, you have the spectator pick out a card again, and they find that it's their original selected card. This has actually happened to me 4 times in a row. I remember it like it was yesterday. The 5 of diamonds. Should have totally played the lottery that day. But my main point is, what a coincidence, and I'm going to teach you how valuable that is, because no one would even think that this is possible. Check it out, this is pure magic, because we're going to start by taking the cards out of the tuck box. I'm going to hand the deck off to the spectator, and they're practically going to handle this whole thing. Spectator number 1 is going to start by shuffling up the cards as much as they'd like. As soon as they're done, they're going to deal off cards onto the table one at a time until they want to stop. Let's just say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They want to stop right here. Take a look and memorize the card at this position. Right, this card's memorized. We'll leave it right back exactly where it was and smash it down somewhere in the center. They're not going to take this deck, hand it off to spectator number 2, who's going to repeat the exact same process, but with any number of cards they want. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Let's just say 19. Take a look at this card. Hopefully you got that memorized. Leave it back here. And also lose that somewhere in the center. Now spectator number 1 could take the deck, cut it anywhere they want. Spectator number 2 could take the deck, cut it anywhere they want as well. So your cards are definitely lost somewhere in the center. At this point, again, I haven't even touched the cards, which is insane. Spectator number 1 is going to take the deck again and deal it off into 2 even piles. Let's just speed right through this. As soon as that's done, I'm going to touch the deck for the first time, and let's say pick up this pile, and I'm going to ask spectator number 1, was your card in this pile? And the only answer that will suffice is a yes or a no. And if you've seen your card, by the way, in this pile, then just let me know, and that's where we can... Oh, okay, you already seen it? Okay, you don't need to see the rest. Okay, so your card's hopefully somewhere in this pile. We'll just cut it somewhere and leave it there. And just to confirm, spectator number 2, hopefully your card is in this pile. Right, your card is somewhere, hopefully in this pile. All right, we're all set to go. Now, here's where it gets good. Both the spectators are going to flip over the cards at the exact same time from spectator number 1 from this pile, spectator number 2 from this pile. And they're going to keep going. Oh, I don't even know what the chances were, but the next card literally flipped spectator number 1's card and spectator number 2's card at the exact same moment. What up, crew? It is Magic Monday, and this is your place to learn Magic, master your performance, and captivate audiences. The effect I'm sharing with you today is known as the Mathematical Card Trick by John Scardy. And since it's math-based, there's no practice, no sleight of hand, all self-working. All you have to do is perform. So, before we dive right into the tutorial, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and get ready to drive people mad. Now grab my favorite deck, and let's do it. Here we are, shameless plug by the way, these are my very own Canis Lupus Alpha Lux playing cards now available at the CardMechanic shop, and they're gilded. And for those of you who want to get them cheap, they also come in a damaged edition. Back to the effect though, I'd probably rank this at a mid-tier beginner level effect just because of the one small move that's involved. But as long as you have a deck of 52 cards, this trick can be done completely impromptu, any place, anytime, anywhere, for any number of people. Ideally, I'd recommend doing it for 2, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, as many as you'd like. Now to start, you want to hand the deck off to the spectator. And the reason I hand the deck off to the spectator is because I want them to handle the cards as much as they possibly can. This ensures that the magic happens in their hands. And the magic that happens in their hands is going to be a lot stronger than the magic that happens in your own hands. So you hand the deck off to them, they shuffle up the cards as much as they want. I hand the deck off first to spectator number 1, but you know, they can figure out if they all want to shuffle up the deck, they can all shuffle up the deck. So the deck's been shuffled up, and they're going to deal some number of cards. They don't have to count them out loud, but you need to count them mentally in terms of how many cards are dealt. And then based off of that choice, that's when you're going to tell them what card to select. So let me give you an example. In my performance, I had the spectator deal off 9 cards, but of course this is going to be completely in their choice. So if the spectator deals off an odd number of cards, so let's just say 5 for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then they're going to look at the card that's dealt, and that's going to be their selected card. Now, if the spectator deals 10 cards, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they're not going to take a look at this card here because 10 is an even number. They're not going to look at this card here, but they're going to take the next card, King of Spades in this case, memorize that, and then put that card down on the table. So there should be an odd number of cards if they stopped at an even number, and if they dealt, an odd number, that's still going to be an odd number of cards. So there should always be an odd number of cards on the table once a card is selected. So let's just say in this case, they picked 7 cards, or they dealt 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards they dealt. They're going to take a look and memorize the card they dealt. 5 of diamonds is coming up quite a lot. You can see the pattern here. This is not on purpose. So 5 of diamonds, it's a 7th card. Of course, you don't know what card it is, but you know they dealt off 7 cards. In your mind, what you're going to do is take 7, divide that by 2. So 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. You're going to drop the decimal, so it just becomes 3. If they dealt 8 cards, you would take 8, divide that by 2. Obviously, that becomes 4, right? In this case, they dealt 7 cards, and since they dealt an odd number, they're going to take a look and memorize this card, 5 of diamonds. If they had dealt 8 cards, you would have them look at the next card and put that down. So spectator number 1 dealt 7 cards. Their card is 5 of diamonds. You're going to memorize just the number 3. That's all you're memorizing. As soon as spectator number 1 has done that, they're going to take the rest of the cards, put it right on top. Then now they're going to hand the deck off to spectator number 2, who's going to repeat the same process. Now with this spectator, you don't really care how many cards they've dealt, but you have to do the selection in the same way, whether they deal an even number of cards or an odd number of cards. So if they deal an odd number of cards, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you're going to take the 9th card, and that's going to be their selected card. If they dealt 10 cards, then they're going to take the next card, and that's going to be their selected card. So let's just say, I don't know, they dealt off 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, since they dealt an even number, we're going to take this card, and that's going to be the card that they're memorizing. In this case, it is the 2 of spades. We're going to put that down right on top of this pile. Right after that's done, you're going to take the rest of the cards, put it on top here. Now, the deck can be cut as many times as the spectators want. I just have each spectator cut the deck 1 time each. So at this point, either one of the 2 spectators can take the deck and deal it off into 2 even piles. As soon as that's been completed, you're going to take the pile which you dealt to first, so in my case that's the left pile. I'm going to take this pile and show all the cards to the spectator. I'm going to show it just from this angle. In this case, the 5 of diamonds happen to be on the bottom. That's not always going to be the case. But you're going to go through the cards from the back, right? So you're going to go through the cards like this, one at a time. And you're going to use your key card, right? The key number that you got from the 7 divided by 2. In this case, it was 3. You're going to use that key number and count off that many cards from the top first. So 1, 2, 3. And at the end of the whole thing, if the spectator's card is in this pile, then you're going to move these 3 cards from the top to the bottom. Okay, and we'll go through what happens if the spectator's card is not in this pile, but let's walk through this case first. So you pick up the pile that you dealt to first, and you go through, you remember your key card or your key number, you count 1, 2, 3, that's my key number in this case, and then I kind of get a break. So I hold with my index finger, just hold these cards back a little bit as I go through the rest and ask the spectator, do you see your card in this pile? Obviously, I'm just going to do this again with the cards face up, and keep in mind these 3 cards in the back are held. Obviously, they see their card is the 5 of diamonds. They're going to say yes. Like I mentioned, if their card is in this pile, you're going to now take the top 3 cards, move it to the bottom, and put this down. Now you're going to pick up the second pile and ask spectator number 2. Because of the way the cards were kind of arranged and dealt out, each pile should have one of the spectator's cards. This time, you don't have to do anything. You're just going to kind of repeat the exact same process, go through the cards just like this, and ask spectator number 2 if their card is in this pile. So as they go through, is your card in this pile? I believe the card was 2 of spades, and you'll see the 2 of spades is in this pile. Because of how the math works, check it out. The bottom 3 cards are random, and the 4th card is this one. Again, bottom 3 cards random, since we just did the cut. 4th card is this one. So all you gotta do now is keep dealing, and I'm not gonna put you through this whole thing because obviously you know that as we go through, I'm just gonna I don't think I can just do that. But as we go through, you'll know that, so we've gone through all these, the 4th card from the bottom, of course, will be the spectator's selected card. Okay, so that's case number 1, if spectator number 1's card is in the left pile. Let's walk through what happens if their card is not in this pile. With the second use case, you go through all the cards and spectator number 1 says that their card is not in this pile. The one thing you will note is spectator number 2's card will be in this pile, just because, again, of how the math works. Spectator number 2's card will be in this pile. So you say, okay, your card's not in this pile. Let's confirm that it's in the other pile. You pick this pile up, and if you recall, with the use case number 1, we moved 3 cards from top to the bottom. With this one, you're going to take whatever your key number is, in this case, again, 3. You're going to add 1 to it, which is 4, and you're going to now move 4 cards from the top to the bottom. So as you go through like this, I just, again, grab a break, pull this card back, and you go through all the cards, And then once spectator number 1 confirms their card is in this pile, as you square up, I give the deck a cut here, pick up these cards, and give it all a cut. Then I tell spectator number 1, okay, you can take your pile. Spectator number 2, you're going to take the other pile, and you're both going to deal until either one of you finds your cards. So they deal here, not their card, and then the next cards they look at, wow, would you look at that? 5 of diamonds and 2 of spades. Enjoy. So yes, a couple of steps to memorize, but because of how easy this is, definitely worth it. Hope this video gave you something fun to try out on your friends, and for more awesome stuff, check out this effect right over here. As always, a huge shout out to all my Patreon producers, and thank you, love you, see you soon.